Welcome to video number 2, Finding Reliable Sources. In this video, we're going to go over a couple of different topics. We are going to just quickly review Mrs. Steiner's suggestions for where you should go to search for your sources and for some good credible sources. We'll talk about how your .org, .gov, and .edu websites are usually better than others. We'll talk about should I use Wikipedia, and if you decide to, how to use it appropriately. And then we'll go over a checklist of how you can find how you can evaluate websites that you find yourselves to see if they're credible or not. So let's start with Mrs. Steiner's resources. Mrs. Steiner is coming in on Wednesday to talk about this website that she has built for us. And on the first page that she has, which says General Resources, she gave us a number of different resources that anyone can use. All of your topics should be represented somewhere in one of these websites. Badgerlink, she'll go through how to get in there. Best History websites, Library of Congress, all of these should have your sites or your topics covered somewhere. So I'm going to use my topic, and I'm going to search in the Smithsonian Institution for my topic, just to show you how to do this. So I'm going to go to the Smithsonian, then I'm going to go to this little magnifying glass up here, and I'm going to type in the Manhattan Project, and I'm going to click the magnifying glass again, which sets us on our search. And it tells you at the top, okay, images. I do want images, but right now I'm looking more for things that are text, things to read. They have some exhibitions, they have stories. So I'm going to click on stories and see what comes up. Right. Stories, let's see. Okay, so this is the world. Okay, so this one looks interesting. It has to do with the birth of the atomic age, which is what I'm interested in. Let's see. So this is about the dropping of the atomic bomb. This could be really helpful because it's like a person who was alive at the time talking about their reactions to what happened. And I could just continue to work on the Smithsonian website and go through all the different tabs up here to see what they have that has to do with my topic. You're looking for articles, you're looking for websites, you're looking for things that you can read. The images are important and they will become more important later when you're doing your presentation, but for right now you're trying to read about your topic. Perhaps you might want to watch a video or two, but I wouldn't necessarily try to do all of your research via video because you won't get everything that you need. A lot of what you need is written and in written text. So that's how you would use the front page. And then up here, Mrs. Steiner has a section that says topic-specific resources. So if you click on that, right now it's kind of empty because it has the things left over from last year that we think might be applicable this year, but it doesn't have a lot of things from this year. Mrs. Steiner over the next couple of days is going to be working to update this website with topics that you all are working on right now. So she is going to put in here websites that relate to things that a lot of people might need to know about. So if Emmett Till is your topic, she already has this really great website in here from PBS, Public Broadcasting, and it has testimony and the killer's confessions and a timeline of the murder and what happened and a video clip, and then there's article. So there's tons and tons of sources about this specific topic. So Mrs. Steiner is helping us out quite a bit, and like I said in class, many of you will be able to use this website to find almost all of your sources. So if you use it wisely, it could be super helpful. So that's starting with Mrs. Steiner's suggestions. The next thing I want to emphasize is the .org, .gov, and .edu. If you can find websites that are ending in .gov or .edu, chances are they're going to be a little bit more credible than others. Now, having said that, the sources that I've collected for my topic so far are history.com, biography.com, history.com again, atomicheritage.org, so this is an organization, but I got 2 more .coms, but then I have a .gov. So there are a lot of .coms that are reliable, but you have to do more work with the .coms to make sure that they're reliable. But generally speaking, if I have a .org, I know that it's going to be from an organization, and that organization, depending on its purpose, could just be there to educate me. So the Atomic Heritage Foundation, and in partnership with the National Museum of Nuclear Science and History, which is a good sign because museums, their job is to educate. I feel good about this partnership, and I feel like I can trust this. Also, if you scroll down to the bottom of the site, this usually tells you when things were updated. It gives us some contact information. So these are some good things, some good signs that tell me that this is more credible than not. All right, back here. So .org, .gov, .edu, try to focus on those if you can. Should you use Wikipedia? Well, I do not want Wikipedia, and Mr. Jones and I both agree on this, we don't want Wikipedia to be one of the sources that you cite at the end. I think that it's important to know that there is a way that you can use Wikipedia, and I'm going to show you that right now. So the Manhattan Project, again, is our topic, and Wikipedia is often the first thing that pops up because a lot of people use it. And Google brings things to the top that they think are the most useful for you, and because a lot of people are clicking on these Wikipedia links, it appears in their algorithm to be very useful. So I'm going to click on the Manhattan Project. This is my topic, and it's a really extensive article about my topic. I'm not going to read it right now. You could to get some background information, but the really important part is the references. So when you get to the references section, actually you can scroll up a bit and do citations. If you look through some of these citations, Enrico Fermi is a scientist, and this right here could be really great. What is it? Department of Physics, Project Nuclear File. So this is some information about this scientist and his ideas about the Manhattan Project. That's great. Okay, let's go back here, scroll down. This talks about the decision to use the atomic bomb, which is clearly connected to my topic because without the Manhattan Project, we would have never had the atomic bomb. Let's see. The atomic bomb and the end of the World War II, a collection of primary sources. That could be really great. An interview from someone who probably was involved. J. Robert Oppenheimer at the Trinity test. What's this? Oh, this is a movie of a quote that he said when he witnessed the bombing or the Trinity test, which was the first atomic bomb test. So the citations, the footnotes, and the references sections of these Wikipedia articles are sometimes a really great place to go to find other resources. So I don't really want you to use the article part, but I would really like it if you scrolled down and looked over the notes, the citations, and the references in these Wikipedia articles to try to get access to good sources. So that's how I think you could use Wikipedia effectively. The last thing I want to show you is this. This is a web page credibility checklist that we found on UW-Madison's website. And really what it is different criteria that you're going to look at and see if your websites that you found on your own, if they meet these certain criteria. You're looking for something that has 7 or more points to make sure that it's reliable enough for you to use it in your project. So there's some things that you're looking for. You're looking for a group or individual that's responsible for the content on the site. I'm going to use the history.com one, that's my top one, to show you things in this area. So if you scroll down a little bit, we know here the history.com editors, they're the ones that are responsible for the content on the site. So far so good. I have 1 point. The site is maintained by a person or organization that I know is credible outside of the internet. Well, I know that the History Channel, or A&E, which is another television channel that has educational programming, runs this website, and so I find it to be credible because of that. I know that the History Channel pretty much runs a pretty good website that is credible. The site has been updated in the past 3 to 6 months. A lot of the times if you take your articles and you scroll all the way to the bottom, and then sometimes it's not at the bottom. You'll have some information like this. And this one tells us that it was last updated May 16, 2019, which is in the last 3 to 6 months. We are doing just fine. Even something like this, if it was updated further back than 6 months, it's probably okay because the historical topic that it's talking about happened in the 1940s. Not a ton changes with it, but it does sometimes. So it's good to see that it was updated pretty recently. What else am I looking for? It has external links to other credible websites. Okay, well, I'm going to scroll up a little bit because often the history.com sites have like a sources section. The International Atomic Energy Agency, that's a credible source. Also, NPR, which is a national public radio, is a credible source. So it links to other sources externally, not within the history.com area, that I know to be credible. Let's see. I know of other credible websites that link to this website. Well, yes, there are other credible websites that would use this as a source because, again, we know History Channel to be relatively credible. The site has a .gov or .edu suffix. Okay, so here's where I don't get a point. So I have 1, I have 2, I have 3, I have 4, I have 5. Okay, so we're already at 5. The site provides a phone number or mailing address that I could use for contacting the person or organization for more information. Well, it had an email address and it said contact us, so I'm not going to count that, but I could get in contact with them if I needed to correct something or ask questions. I have verified the information on the site using reliable offline resources. You are going to be using some books at some point. And when you use those books, make sure that your books and your websites match up in terms of the facts. The main purpose of this site is to provide facts, not opinions. Well, that's true. The history.com website, the purpose of it is to educate you about history, you and the general public. So I think I can give myself a point for that. I think I'm at 7. Let's see if we lose any. The site is clearly biased towards a specific opinion or point of view. I don't think so. I read the article and it seems pretty balanced. It talks about the pros and cons of atomic energy. It's not completely for it or completely against it. And it doesn't use any exaggerating language like always or never or only or best or worst. The site contains many misspellings. It does not. The main purpose of the site is to sell a product or service. There are some ads, but the main point of it isn't necessarily to sell anything, but to give us information. I think they would like for you to watch the History Channel, but also they're happy when you come to the website just to learn about history. The site has no external links. No, it does. We saw 2 of them. Okay, pretty good. So 7 points. I think my History Channel website is pretty great. Feel free to use this checklist. We'll put it on the Google Classroom for you to access, but feel free to use it to evaluate any websites that you're finding that you're not sure about. All right, make sure we did what we said we were going to do. Yep, we went over Mrs. Steiner's suggestions. We talked about .org, .gov, .edu. We talked about how to use Wikipedia, and we also looked over the checklist. Let us know if you have any questions, and good luck researching.